right, everybody, so I just finished this one, and right here I meant to say that was lesson 6, and then exponents and radicals is 7. So again, I'm going on to this one. It's in mine, it says coordinate geometry comes next, but I just don't think so. I think I put these algebra problems together, so I'm going on to this one. So you may have to do some packet diving. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's like this. Okay, here we go. So exponent rules, we kind of discussed some of this. It'll be okay. I've got to use color here. So if we multiply like bases, we're going to actually add the exponent. So right here, you can see they wrote it out. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 right here, and then I've got 2, and so I would add those together to make 6. 4 and 2 make 6. So then I would have you guys come over and say, okay, well, what if I had x to the 5 times x to the 10th? How many would I have? I hope you would say x to the 15th, because we're adding them together. All right, next one, dividing. If multiplying is adding, subtraction, dividing is subtraction. Now they go like this, but that's not how we do it in math. We go like this, boom, 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 right? And so we say if there's 6 A's on top and 3 A's on bottom, cancel out, we would have 3 left. So we're actually subtraction. So again, if I had x to the 10th divided by x to the 3rd, what would you have? I would hope you'd say 7, because 10 minus 3 is 7. Then raising a power to a power. They have this written out, but that's not how we would do it. We would say b squared cubed. So we would say b squared times b squared times b squared, right? We've got 3 b squareds, and then we would say b squared is b times b times b, which is 6. So we're actually going to multiply. So I would say, all right, what would be x to the 5th raised cubed? And I would say x to the 15th, because 5 times 3 is 15. Okay, and these other ones are more about just remembering what it is. So if it's a negative number, we move it. I usually talk about if you're in a negative relationship to get out of it, but some of you are trapped in your room, in your houses for COVID, and you can't leave, and I'm so sorry, and I don't mean to make light of it. We are all stuck in a tough spot, and some of you are in way worse, and I applaud you for still doing your math. Good job. So the question is, Ms. Cooper, both of these are on top. What happens if I have a negative on bottom? What if I have like x to the 4th over y to the negative 2z? Well, that, even though the y is in the bottom, it's in a negative spot, so we would move it up. They're still who they are. They're still y and squared. They're just happier because they're in a new place. And then right here, this is the property of 0. Anything to the 0 is 1. Imagine it's saying, this is a really tough concept, but basically it's over itself is to the best example I have. So it's anything over itself is 1. Okay, here we are. We're going to solve some problems. I'm just going to work through these with you like I would my other classes, because they are tough. So I would ask you guys to walk through this, and I would ask, you know, hey, you in the back, what's 8 squared? And they would say 64. And then I would say, what would you guys do next? And you would say, because that's times 4, we're going to divide by 4 on both sides. And so I have 2 to the n equals 16. And then we'd say, what do we do now? And we would rewrite that as log base solution equals exponent. Oh, I know what I was going to say in that last video, is that this is a subscript like H2O. Oh my gosh, that whole video wasted. All right, well, whatever. So we would put this into our calculator, and we would say math up, enter, and we put in 2 and 16 is 4. Done. This next one's really hard to see, but I hope you can see it has the same base on top, and it's got fractions. So what I would do is I'd have 5 to the 1/3 plus 4/5. I'd put that, oh, That's different. Okay, well, whatever. Interesting. Okay, so I'm going to do 1/3 plus 4/5. We have already practiced this in a previous one, and so I'd get 17/15. So I'd get 5 is 17/15. I wonder if you guys have this one or the other one I have in my little cranny here. I'm going to assume this one. So now we're at division, and so we're going to subtract 5 to the 17/15 minus 1/15, and so 17 minus 1 is 16/15, which is not an option. Thanks you very much. And it's actually right here. So something else that we should talk about, I guess, is if it's like this 8x to the 5th, then this is really x to the 5/8. So this is my power, and this is my root. And so right here, because this was, this would be my power, this would be my root, I would say 15, 5 to the 16th, which is what that says. A lesson within a lesson. Here we are. So we're going to actually take the cube root of 8, and the cube root of 8 is 2. So I would have 2, and then it says that's my root. So I'm going to say 2x to the 7/3 over the 4th root of 81 is 3. 4th root of 81. So if you don't know that, you can do 4 math 5, and you'd put in the 4th root. You can also do 3 math 5 and 8, and so that you could find out that's 2 math 5. Anyway, so I'd have 3x, and then that's my power and my root, 2/4. So I have 2/3, but because these are the same base, I can subtract. So I have 2/3 x, and I'm going to do 7/3 minus 2/4. Interesting. 7/3 minus 2/4, which of course is a half, but I'm just going to put it in. So I get 11/6, which is right here. Okay, this next one is an interesting one because again, these are same bases. So I'm just going to leave them right there. I'm going to do 1/25 to the 1/3 over 1/25 to the 1/5. So that's 1/25 to the 1/3 minus 1/5, which would be 1/25 to the 2/15. And so there it is. Interesting enough though, this is also an answer. So I don't know who made this. I got these off of act.org, but there was 2 answers. So if you got either one of those, you're good. The next one says, which of these is incorrect? Okay, well this is 10 to the 10 over 5, which is 10 squared, so that one is correct. The next one says the square 1/2 means square root of 16, which is 4, is the same as the cube root of 8, which is 2. So I don't think that one's correct. We're going to keep moving here. Anything to the 0 is 1, and then the 5th root of 1 to the, that would be fun to put in. 5 math 5, 1 to the 30th. No matter what, it's still going to be 1. So that one's correct. The 4th root of 625, so 4 math 5 of 625, that's 5. And then we know that 1/2 means the square root of 25, and so the square root of 25 is 5, so that works, and that's just a rewrite. So yeah, that's the only one that's wrong. I'm going to put this other one underneath just in case you have this one. If you do, you could pause and freeze frame and write those down if I give you the wrong one. Hot mess here in the Cooper house. Okay. Oh, I see what I did is those other ones are over here. So those are also what I just did. Interesting. Okay, well, we're going to go on to this little guy. I wonder if I just added more problems over here. No, I just squished it for no reason. Who knows? Oh, Cooper. Okay, good news is I get to use markers now because we're on the back side. So imagine I said 3x minus 4x. You guys would say that's negative x. We don't write negative 1x. We would just do that. But because these are the same radical, we would say 3 minus 4 is negative rad 6. So what about right here? Oh, I'll just go down. It'll be fine. Okay, so right here, these are the same, right? Rad 21 and rad 21. So a negative 11 minus 11 would, of course, be negative 22 rad 21. So then I would say I want you guys to try these. Pause it and try it. Okay, so again, because this is rad 7 and this is rad 7, negative 3 plus 4 is 1 rad 7, or just rad 7. Same thing right here, negative 9 plus 10 is 1 rad 15. Common radicals means I can just add, but what if I don't have common radicals? This is where we would say 24 is 4 times 6 and 4 is 2 times 2. Technically 6 is 2 times 3, but nothing's going to happen with those because they're not the same. Square root means 2. Okay, so the way that we teach this at Hunter, which I really like, is that they have to be in this, this is jail, and they have to be in the same gang to get out. And so this is the 2 gang. They're trying to escape from jail, but unfortunately one doesn't make it. So this now comes out. This 2 made it out of jail. So I've got a 2 rad 6 that came from right here. I have this negative 2 times this 2 that escaped, and then I still have this rad 6. So to simplify, I have 2 rad 6 minus 4 rad 6, which is negative 2 rad 6. Moving on to this one, I've got 3 times 4 is 2 times 2 again. This one is going to make it out of jail. Only one of them, though. Sorry, that's sad. So I've got a negative 2 rad 3, right, because that one didn't have a buddy to get out of jail, so still in jail, plus 3 rad 3, and negative 2 plus 3 is just 1 rad 3. Can you try these? Okay, so 6 doesn't help, but again, I've got 9 times 6 and 3 and 3. So again, I've got that 2 rad 6, and then I've got plus 3, and then one of these 3s made it out alive. And then because 6 didn't have a buddy, he's still in jail. So I've got 2 rad 6 plus 9 rad 6 is 11 rad 6. Truth be told, you can do a lot of these in your calculator. What I mean is on the test, it's multiple choice, right? So if I saw 2 radical 6 plus 3 radical 54, I'd get some decimal, and then I'd go through until it matched, and that's gonna match. So I really don't, it's not that I don't care. I usually don't pressure this. If you get it, great. If you don't, then move on with your life and just use your calculator. Right here, one of those 3s would come out, and 3 minus 3 would of course equal 0. Okay, we're just gonna run through these real quick, I guess. So what I usually say is inside times inside and outside times outside. Imagine jail. If 2 people are outside of jail, they can multiply. Technically, if 2 people were inside of jail, they could multiply. But you can't multiply one person. Here's what I usually say. This is terrible that I'm putting this out on YouTube, but if he's in jail and she's not, and she gets pregnant, it ain't his. There we go. That's Cooper's way. Oh, I'm gonna lose my job over this. Here we go. So inside times inside, outside times outside. So because these are both inside, I would say 2 times 6 is 12. That would be fine, but of course I know that I can say that's 4 times 3 and 2 times 2, so 2 rad 3. These can both multiply. 7 times 21 is the square root of 147. I'm just, no, I can't just leave it. I can't. I have a captive audience here, and see how that those 7s could bust out. So I have 7 radical 3. Plus, with some math teachers watching, like, you didn't. Okay, here we go. All right, so once again, these are both on the inside, but because I have number times number, I've got the square root of 150. And then right here, I've got this n squared and n cubed. Now we just went through those rules. If it's squared and it's cubed, what can I do with 2 and 3? I can add them, so it's n to the 5th. Okay. I'm gonna go over here, the square root of 150, n to the 5th. Of course, we just said that's 15 times 10, 3 and 5, 5 and 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 n's. So if I'm circling up some gangs here, you can see I've got a 5 that's going to bust out, and I've got a set of n's, another set of n's. Okay, and then on the inside I still have this 3 and this 2 and this n. So 5n squared radical 6n would be the correct answer. Again, it's not worth it. If you're not getting this, whenever you get to your test, you put in that 150, you put in the 5 radical 6. Well, (15 times 10), 3 times 5. Oh, I put 4. How many of you guys were screaming at me? I was genuinely stumped for a sec. Oh, I miss my students. I miss you guys being like, Cooper, you're an idiot. Don't you see you put in 4 instead of 5? Oh, I genuinely had a heart attack just then, but it's okay. We're okay. We're moving on here. Okay, so again, inside times inside, outside times outside. So this 5 and this 6 are both on the inside. So when I distribute, the 2 would go with nothing right there, which is the assumed 1. So I'd have 2, and 5 times 6 is rad 30. And then right here, when I distribute this way, well, I have a 2 and a 2 on the outside. That's 4, and then I only have the radical 5. Okay, same thing right here. I've got this 3, and I would usually have highlighters in my room, and I'd say, everybody highlight it, because this is difficult. So right here, -3 times 2 is -6 rad 3. And then right here, this -3 has a 1, so -3, and then 3 times 6 is 18. I know we can simplify this, but I just don't care to right now. I'm so sorry. I'm just going to move on. So 15 and 3 and 5. Okay, so when I distribute this one, I have a -2 and a -3 on the outside, so that's a +6. 15 times 3 is 45. Then I would take this whole thing and I'm multiplying times this whole thing, if that helps. So I've got -2 times 3 is -6, and 15 times 5 is 75. And again, I'm not going to simplify because I just want to keep moving here. Oh, to the problems. And then we just have these and then we're going to be done today, okay? So with this little part. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's split them up, okay? So let's do 3 minutes and try to get 3 correct on the left side. And pause. Okay. So it says, what would be the value of this? Well, I would plug it in. So it says that we've got x equals, oh, do I have to come back? I don't. Yeah, I can use my marker if I want. So right here, this x equals 5. So I'm going to say 5 minus, and then it says to put in -1 in for y. So you would have to put in -1 squared. And that squared goes to all of it. So I hope you know that double negative means a positive. So we're looking for 6 squared is 36. You could, of course, put that into your calculator. Here's the power rule that we've been talking about. So the tough part is that means 4 cubed and x squared cubed if I distribute. So 4 cubed is 64. And then we said if this is a power that we're going to multiply. So 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, this next one is what is this squared? So I hope you know that squared means I'm going to write it twice. And so 3 times 3 is 9x squared. 3 times 7 is 21x. 7 times 3 is 21x. And then 7 times 7 is 49. And then because these are like terms, we can put these together. So 9x squared plus 42x plus 49 makes it E. This one is, which one's factored? So if you remember, we talked about this before. If this is a minus, we're looking for different signs, because only a -2 times a +3 would make a -6, or a +2 times a -3. They can't both be positive. A +2 times a +3 is a +6, and a -2 times a -3 is a +6. So it can't be same signs. So it can't be B. Oh, wow. All that explanation to just get rid of one. Cool, 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 cool. So then I would just check the insides. I would say I have a -15 plus 2 makes a -13. That's the correct answer. Moving along. If you did these, you would have -10 plus 3 is -7. 10 minus 3 is +7, and 15 minus 2 is +13. So A is the only one that would work. Okay, way back when, well, first of all, here's the equation. So I've got P times 1 plus R over 100 to the T. So it says P to the 0 is our initial population, and they said my initial population is 782,000. Okay, and then it says 1 plus, and then it says R, mateys. So R is the rate, or that percentage. So in this one, they kind of show you how to get to that percentage that we talked about before. I'll show you in just a sec. I've got to finish this cute little coloring here. But we went from 1999 to 2000. Notice that they all have 10, so you can see it's a 10. Okay. So if you remember, 5 divided by 100 is 0.05. And if you remember in our first lesson, we said 5% is the same as 0.05. So really, it's like they did that work for you, 0.05, but they don't have that. You have to actually add this, and so that's why my answer is C. Oh, mercy. Okay. 3 more minutes. Trying to get 3 more correct. And really, you're just trying to pace yourself. If you need more than 3 minutes, then you take more than 3 minutes. But the whole thing is practicing problems. And if you're practicing these problems and pausing and doing what you're supposed to be doing, you should improve. You really should, and I hope you do. Okay. Median, do you remember that we had to put those in order? So my opinion is to line them up underneath the other numbers so that you don't have to go back and count and say, did I get all those numbers right? 67, 79, 89. So I line them up. I know they're all there. So again, I'm going to take outside, back, front, back, front, back. My middle number is 42. Okay, right here we're going to simplify. So first, starting with the distributive property, we have 8x plus 14. And then I've got this -3 times 2 is -6x. Negative times negative is a +12. So the first thing we're going to do is combine like terms. It's not equal, so I'm not going to have to like add 6x. These are on the same side. So 8 minus 6 is 2x. So we've already narrowed it down there. And right here I've got +14 plus 12 means it's plus 26. And so that's why it's 8. Oh gosh, that's so loud. I'm so sorry. Okay, this one tends to get students. I hope you tried it and looked at it, because it is a toughie if you're not going to read it. It says she throws out the lowest test score. Now what's the average? So 78 and 83 and 84 and 93 divided by 4. 338 divided by 4 is 84.5, and so that's why it's E. I bet you would get it right now if you tried it again. Number 3. Oh, these are all out of order. I just pull them from different tests. That's all, kids. It says Mr. V gave his 3rd grade spelling 5 words to spell. So on the first day, he gave them 5. On the second day, he gave 3 new words. So now we're up to 8. How many would he give on the third day? I hope you would say 11, right? That's what we're going to keep going. So you could go all the way to 20, which would take forever. And in that case, you would put a star and you'd say, I know how to do this. I'm going to get the right answer. It's just going to take forever, so I'll come back to it. Okay? Please don't do that one in real time. Or you can say, okay, 20 days of school, right? So the first day he gave 5, but then the other 19 days he gave 3 more, right? So I would get to 62. You cannot say 3 times 20 is 60. Thank goodness that wasn't an option, but that's why. They gave 5 the first one, and then the next 19 days they gave 3. Okay, last one. Oh, I made a little thing right here, and it's pretty much what it's going to look like here. So it says, this is definitely a circle, and that means that it's going to take forever. A circle, maybe a star, maybe, I don't know. Maybe, right? Because this is a time sucker for sure. So it says in home ec that we have a circular table that's 3 feet in diameter. Then it says the finished table needs to hang down 5 inches. So if you've ever made something like this, I hope you would know you would want 5 inches all the way around. I want 5 inches here, 5 inches here. Oh, we just switched. It looks like everything else is in inches. So how many inches are in a foot? That's right, 12. So 12 times 3 makes this 36 inches. So no longer 3 feet. Then it says, to finish the edge, Kirk will fold under another 1 inch. So we're going to go across all the way around 1 inch, 1 inch. And it says it's 60 inches wide. How far does he need to go? So if I went 1 plus 5 plus 36 plus 5 plus 1, that's 48. And so that's as much as they need. Until next time, have a good day.